Hey everybody, this is my first Build It Live in Elementor. I see there's one person here. I'm a little on edge because this is the first time that I have gone live to two locations. I am on YouTube right now in my YouTube channel, and simultaneously I am on my Facebook page in Facebook. So this is the first time I've done it, so I'm just a little not sure what's going on, and hitting buttons at the last minute, but I am here. So yeah, that's what's going on. Let me just check the live feed real quick. And I'm going to click on that, and we're going to take a look at. No, we don't need to do that. Okay, we're going to hit cancel, and I hope everything's okay. Undo changes, undo changes. We're going to undo changes. Okay. Go back to studio. I'll be with you in just a moment. Content. And live. And there I am. Okay. Well, let's get started, shall we? Whoops, somebody was here and then they left. Don't know who that was. Dashboard. Analytics. What do we got going on right now? See, live count. Here we are. Subscribers. It was probably me seeing myself. All right. But anyway, I'm here. We're live, and we're just going to roll on. So it's been a long time since I have done a live in Elementor. And since I was recuperating with my cosmetic surgery, I was like, I really need to go back on there because a lot of people came and watched me, or at least watched the Build It. So I have some things to share with you today on how do you do that in Elementor, basically. And so I had two people waiting the other day to see this live, and they must be still sleeping in the bed. That's all right. So let me get myself ready here. And let me go pull up some images because I peruse the internet a lot, and I try to find things that other people would be interested in, if I could click the right button, to get where I need to be while I'm talking to you at the same time. Yes, here we are. Okay. That's the images. Okay, so I'm going to grab probably the first three. And just talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right with you. Let me right click and choose download. Where are we going to put them? Come on, puppy. Download, preparing, zip 3 files. Okay. I need you to go to the desktop, and I need you to go to that folder, and we're going to hit save. Okay. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to show you some things that I have found on the internet, and I was like, how did they do that in Elementor? Well, with my 26 years of HTML and CSS sleuthing skills, I'm able to read the code and see what widget they're using, what overriding CSS, is it a background, is it a mask? My sleuthing skills can take a look at something and be able to tell you how they did it. So I just downloaded a file, and that's great. Now I'm talking to you, and I can't figure out where I am. So let me just, go to the desktop, and there's that folder. And there's that, and I need to open up the zip file and open up the folder. And so I'm going to get rid of this for right now, if I can. Yep, there it is. Got those files. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Let me just clean my desktop so that we can all talk about the same thing. Hey, thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. So here we go. I'm going to pull up there we go. Okay. So let me make this bigger, plus, zoom in. Okay. And it's going to be pixelated, and I'm sorry. But here it is. This is an image. It's an image of a button I found on the internet. And you're just like, no, that's an image. That's an image of a button. Well, it is in this case, but it is an actual functioning button with a cut edge. And you're saying to yourself, how do you do a cut edge on a button? Well, that's what we're going to build here first. So let me get, hey, George. No screen share. No screen share. Did you not see my screen? Let me share that again. Yeah, you're seeing that. Okay. There's that. Okay. I think we're on the same page. Just checking with my peeps in the comments. And so let me come back here and set my screen up so that we can build that cut edge button. George, I know you know how to do that, but I have viewers that will probably come along later and not know how to do that cut edge button. Is it a GIF? Is it a PNG? I mean a GIF. Is it a SVG? No, it's not. So let me go here and switch the screen for you, and we're going to build that cut edge button. And so I'm just going to give myself a container to work with, and I'm going to drop a button on the page, and any button will do, the button widget. There we go. All right, everything's fine now, George. Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. All righty, so we have a click here button, and I'm going to just style it up, and I'm going to give it a prettier background because gray is just not that interesting to look at. So background type, color. Let's give it this green. All right, and let's just make the text readable and accessible. So typography, text shadow, text color, that's what I want. Let's go down here to black, okay. And so let's make this a cut edge button. How do you do that? Well, it has to be with the background type of the button. It's actually a gradient. Yes, it's a gradient. And you're like, well, you get a gradient with two colors. Well, did you know that you can make one of those colors actually invisible? Right down here. Let me get my handy dandy circle so that I can show you. This means transparent. Can you see that? Yes, you can. I just got to make sure. And this means that I'm going to have a solid color. This means transparency. And this means full color. So what I want to do is I want to drag this slider all the way. And you can see that the red on the half of the button is like disappearing into white. It's not actually turning white. It's transparent. There's no pixels there. I mean, there probably are, but they're invisible. Magic. So once we get to the point where we've got the gradient, then we're going to give it a hard edge. So I'm going to take these location sliders, location, the first location and the second location, and we're going to meet them in the middle. So we're just going to go location, drag it. Let's go 25 or 23 here, and I'm going to match that 23 on the other side, right there. And notice we've got a interesting thing happening with the background of that button. So we got it vertically. So we have our angle. I'm going to come down here to our angle. Our angle on our button is 180 degrees. Okay. So what if we change that angle to something else? Well, let's go this way. Okay. So we've got an angle going on, 137. Okay. So we need to move it now. So I'm going to change this location, and I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to change this location over here too, and I'm going to try to meet it. It gets a little fuzzy. I'm going to grab the first location. I'm going to keep on going. And what do you know? There is a button. Let me get 88 equally. So there's our button with a notch cut out. So if that's what you're looking for, so let me bring that, that image back up. Let's see here. Where was that image? That image was, come on, brain. There we go. There's that button. I had to blow it up and make it big. Let me make it smaller. But pretty much that's what we got going on. I mean, I can, if we want pixel perfection and you're just like, well, there's not a button in there. I'll just, don't you worry. We'll just go to the content and we'll put a button in there, and we'll make it an arrow, and we'll put an arrow there, and we'll hit insert, and then we'll make it after, and Bob's your uncle. There we go. So there is the cut notch, because I've seen that on several websites, and I was just like, how do you do that? So I did the, you know, looking at the code, and there it is. That's how you do a cut button similar to this graphic I well, it was a button, but I did a screen capture, and there it is. So that's how you do that. Isn't that wonderful? That's lovely. If that's the look you're looking for, otherwise, you can just ignore what we just did, if that's not for you. All right, and so let me see here. Let me go over here and grab this so that I can go to the next one. All right, let me go to this one. Okay, let's do this one next, okay. All right, here we are. Now there's actually two ways you can do this. Let me just move this out of the way because this is so very distracting. And let me pull this up if I can. There we go. Let me make this bigger so that my logo is not distracting you. But we have an image, and then we have this like box, orange box behind it as a little design feature. And so there's actually two ways you can do it. One's probably better than the other, but you know, if there's one way to do something, there's 2 or 3 different ways to do that. So we'll switch back over to our browser, if the browser will behave itself, which it is not doing at the moment. Oh, it's live and you just have to roll with the punches. Can I just have my bar here? Okay, there we go. So what I'll do is I'll just give me a 50-50, and we'll just play a game here. We'll just put a title over here, and we'll put some text editor over here underneath it. Come on. And you're playing games. And the reason why we're having a problem, and if you're new to Elementor, you're like, I want it to go under. Well, we have to tell the parent container. And I actually put that outside. So let's try this again. There we go. You just got to drag it to the right place. So if you're having problems, and if you're new to Elementor and this channel, if you hit Command-I, or on Windows Control-I, you'll see we have a navigator over here. And if you can't see the structure or know where things are, we've got this navigator that helps you move things above and below and in other containers. That Command-I or Control-I on Windows helps you out with the navigator. So it's a toggle on and off. So if I hit Command-I again, it goes away. Command-I or Control-I on Windows, it comes back. So I've done what I needed to do with it, so I'm going to turn it off. And let's just say we're going to put a button in here. Oh, let's take our button that we created. I'm going to drag that button underneath the paragraph and drop it. Okay, so there we are. And I'm going to go grab an image, some sort of image. I need to put the widget in there. And I'll choose an image. And let's say I need a vertical tall. And I probably, there's one. Okay, so we'll just put this guy in there. And so you want a box behind it. Let's do it the not so great way to do it. So what I would do, and I've seen this done before, and this may not be the right way to do it, but it is a way. You may have problems with responsive, is to go back to your widgets and drag and drop a spacer widget in there, in the same space. And so we just take that spacer widget. I know that there's some professionals later on looking at my this thing and going, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? Just bear with me, bear with me. This is a way you can do this. I'm not saying it's the best way. I'm just saying it's a way. And so we need to take that spacer and we need to give it a background color. And let's go with our green color since that's the theme we're going with. Background type. Background. No. Okay, color. We want a color. Hey, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the thumbs up. All right, we're going to give it green. Okay, there's our green. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come to this green shape and we're going to edit the spacer and we're going to go to advanced and we're going to go to layout and we're going to say that the position of this green box is absolute. And I know those professionals are screaming, no, don't do it absolute. But we're going to do it anyway because, you know, Some people are attempting this and they will realize this is not the right way, because when you go to responsive, it's not going to work. But we're going to play for right now. We're going to play wrong, and then we're going to do it right. Because some people would be like, well, why does it not work this way? Okay, so we need to z-index the picture. So I've clicked on the image, and we don't want this spacer widget with the green. So I'm just going to put 10 or 1, 10. It doesn't matter. Just give it a higher number. And so there we are. And the container that holds this image has padding on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off that padding. So I'm going to right click on the container, and I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to say padding. Hey, I don't want any. Right there, pow. That hides our, or takes away the padding of that container. Because if we just delete it, it puts the default padding of that container. We don't want that, so we're going to hit 0. Force no padding in that container. All right, so now, since I can't see or grab the spacer widget that's green, I'm going to hit that Command I, wink, wink. There's a method to the madness of why I did that. So I'm going to grab that spacer, and I've got it highlighted. And I'm going to come over here to its positioning, and I'm going to move it a little bit. So I don't know whether this one is left and right. Yep, it's the X coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to go -10. Well, that's 10, but I need to put a minus in front of it. And then we have to make the spacer taller because it's not reaching to the bottom of the height of this image, right? Yes. So we'll go back to the spacer. Yep, we've got it selected. We need to go back to content. And it's not tall enough. Our image is rather big, so let's make our image smaller, shall we? Yes. It really doesn't need to be that gargantuan big. So I'll go to Style, and I will go to, let's go to Content. And, yep, I know I'm here, and there is a way to height. But it's probably going to, yes, do this squishy thing, which we don't want. We don't want the squishy thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Object Cover. And actually, we're going to go Custom. There's, is it contain or cover? Yes, hold on. There is no thing there, height. Okay, so here we are. And that's as big as it gets. Can I manually put 500 in there? Y'all, I've never done this. Okay, there we go. That's 600. Let's go 550 for whatever reason. I'm just going to force 550 in there. Okay, now we have to go back to our spacer and let's make some changes because 600 is too much. So we know that we made our image 550. Let's make that spacer 550. Yeah, I know people are screaming. They're going, girl, what are you doing? You're going through so much. There's just a one-click wonder on this. I know, but I'm trying to teach people that if they run into problems with doing a spacer, there is an easier way. But I'm going to just make you hold on and get to the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, so we are editing the spacer. And we are going to have to go back to the spacer, and we've got the height, but the width is not happening. Okay, see, I killed the thing right here. Let's go to advanced and width, and we're going to say custom. And then we're going to give it a pixel percentage, not a pixel percentage, a pixel width. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so we only need to do the left and down, so it really doesn't matter the width because it's going to be hiding behind the image anyway. So let's go back to our positioning, and let's just do craziness here. All right, here we go. That's too much, 10. All right, and let's go 93. There we go. That looks good. Let's go 90. 90. Isn't it interesting, boys and girls, that okay, let's go to the width. Where was the width? Here it is. Let's go 370. We need it. Yeah, there we go. There it is. And now it's done. I'm just fiddling with the width and the XY coordinates of the absolutely positioned spacer. And so let us hit update and let's go see how this looks on the responsiveness. So I hit the responsive button and I'm going to tablet. Oh, but it messes up. And so then I would have to go in here and set the offset to work. So yeah, there's the offset. Okay, we fixed it. That's tablet. I'll hit update and we'll go to mobile. And then it turns into a hot mess again. And it's like, there's got to be a better way. Ha 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 ha. I strung you along, and now we're going to do it the easy way. Okay. The easy way that does not mess around with your responsiveness. All right. So we're going to come back in here. I'm going to hit Command I. So, sometimes people just do things and they just try to right click, delete that spacer. Okay. What's the easy way? And I'm sure y'all are screaming, why didn't you do this to begin with? Because I'm trying to teach you something, that there are wrong ways and right ways to do one thing. So I'm going to hit update and I'm going to right click and edit that image. And we're going to go to advanced and we're going to come down here to border. And with border, we're going to go to box shadow. Now, it's almost like the gradient. So we'll go to color and we're going to choose our color, which is going to be difficult. So I need to get my handy dandy color picker. Yep. And it is color Slurp, SLURP. There it is. It is a Mac app called Color Slurp. And so I'm going to grab the green here. And I want an RGBA value. There it is. RGBA value, but it's not giving me that. Well, it really doesn't matter. Does it? No. I'm just going to grab the color, copy. Okay. Because we're not actually doing the transparency for the shadow, and I will explain that in just a moment. Okay. So I'm actually going to erase the RGBA value because the box shadow is a shadow that you can see through. We don't want see-through, so I'm going to put a hard hex value in there. All right, and we've got problems already because we're in the wrong place. Yes, we are. So I'm going to take that value out, and I'm going to go to Style. Okay, so there's the Advanced Border Box Shadow. That is actually on the wrapper, okay? The advanced box shadow is on the wrapper because you notice how we've got this green going on outside of the edges of the image. That's because we're working with the wrapper. We don't want the wrapper. So we're going to go back to Style and we're going to go to Box Shadow. But first of all, before we do that, I have to go back to the here and turn it off, because that's not what we want. So I'm going to hit this back to default where there's nothing there. Good. And so then I'm going to go back to Style, and we're going to go to Box Shadow here. And looky, boys and girls, it does the same exact dadgum thing. You don't want to know why? It's because we messed around with the size of the image. So, interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to delete the image. Yes, we are. And we're going to drop that image back in there again. Because something we did, we messed with the height and width of the image. Yes, we did. Okay, so let's grab our good-looking guy again. There he is. Okay, but I really don't want him that large. Let's go medium. And it's not changing size. And this is a live show, and sometimes, but you see, it's not going to work again. Let's go here, and there we go. There we go. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm back to Style, and it's only around the image. Again, what have we learned? If something doesn't work and it's not doing what you want, delete it and possibly try again. Okay, so now we're where we need to be. We are styling the image. And so I'm going to go back in here and put that hard hex value in there. There it is. Okay. And then we have to, just let me hit edit a button again. We have to go to blur and turn the blur off. Okay. So the blur is off and that window just disappears. And then we're going to work with the spread. And we're going to do that. Okay. Or we cannot deal with the spread. And maybe if you want, it's like, that's just recreating a border. Yeah, I know. But let's keep the spread to 0, please. Let's just manually make sure that's 0. And let's change the horizontal and vertical alignment. So I'm going to go over here to -10. And we'll go vertical 10. And there you go. So your next question is, hey, is this going to work in responsive? Well, of course it is. I'm going to hit update. And we'll go to tablet. And we'll go to mobile. And nothing changes at all. So, there's some people out there that do some, sleuthing, code sleuthing like I do, because I've seen someone use a spacer in order to do the same thing. But then I was like, well, maybe a shadow will work better because it's not changing at all, because it's not a absolutely positioned item. So isn't that a wonderful thing? Yes, it is. Oh, but yes, it is. So if you're looking for this little design thing and a border is just not sexy enough for you, well, then here is how you, on your image, put a little drop shadow that isn't a shadow, but it is an actual box, like half of a border. And so that's how that's done. So let's go here. Yep, you can build most anything. Alrighty. So what do we got next? Let's see here. I want to get into. We got another half hour. This show today is only a half hour. So what I'm going to do right now, let's see, let me set this up for you. And here's something I saw. Yeah, so I'm just going to go on back to where I was on the desktop. And let's do this. We've got us a section here. Let's just play. I know what I'm doing, and I'm just going for these little design techniques that people who are new don't really know how to do this in Elementor. So, all right, so I'm going to go to this container, and I'm going to put a background image. So I'm going to go to Style, Background Type. We're going to grab an image, and is this a big one? Oh, yeah, that's great, big, huge. Okay, so we'll just grab that. That'll do. And we'll just say goodbye to our little friend here. Is there a way you can just like not see it? I don't want to delete it. Oh, of course, of course. Here's another tip. Okay, so I don't want to see this for right now, but I don't necessarily want to delete it. I mean, I could right click and say save as template, but I don't want to get into a template right now. So what I'll do is I'll right click on it, edit container, and I will go to advanced and I'll go to responsive. And I'm going to say hide on desktop. Well, that's great. I don't want to see it at all. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. We'll go to the settings. Okay, is it in here? No, it's not. Let's go to the hamburger menu. And let's go to user preferences. And right here, default, nope, that's not it. Hidden elements. We want, okay, right here. User preferences. There are two things I want to show you here in this user preferences. Number one, editing handles. Can you see that? Yes, editing handles. This is a shame and a travesty of justice that Elementor does not have this on by default. I think they should. It should be default. So if you never heard of the editing handles and you've been seeing me play around with this and you're like, my editing handles don't look like your editing handles, that's because I always come in here and turn this on. So when I turn it off, I'll show you what happens. You don't get a duplicate button. You don't get a duplicate button. I've hidden that. But at any rate, notice that there's not a duplicate button right there. Let me just make this big so that you can see it. It's because I've turned off the editing handles. If I turn the editing handles back on, that then produces a duplicate button, which is a travesty. It should be there all the time. So I just wanted to let you know that. So here we are in responsive preview, hidden elements. Yes, please show you the hidden elements. Now this is what you're going to get. You get these hash marks and it's grayed out to let you know that it's actually there. But right now I'm going to turn this off. Okay, I'm just letting you know that this is here. A lot of people, it's show by default, but if you don't want to see it, poof, it's gone. And if you want to see it again, there you go. But I would say this is danger zone, boys and girls. This is danger zone because, yeah, this is danger zone for clients who mess around with a site you built for them. But at any rate, we're just going to turn it off. I'm letting you know it's here and we'll move on. I'll hit update. Okay. So we're going to come in here and we're going to drag and drop a little design element. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, I'm going to drop a divider. I'm going to drop that divider in there, okay? And so I want some little hash marks, some little diagonal things. Well, just follow with me. I can't find the words right now. And so I don't want it to go all of the way. I know that people have seen like something like this. Let me go to the solid. Let's give it, this, and you go in here and you put a heading in there just below it. Oh, come on, don't play games. Okay, hold on, just a second. When that happens, when I'm trying to drag something in and all I get is this blue line and it zips back in and nothing happens, just hit update on your page. Okay, now here's another tip, hard refresh. On a Windows machine, it is Control-Shift-R as in refresh. On a Mac, it's Command-Shift-R. I'm going to hit a hard refresh, force that page to reload. Okay, that blue line is gone, and I'm going to grab the heading, and I'm going to drag and drop it right back in there again. See, sometimes it just has a sneeze and loses its mind, and you just have to hard refresh. There's a tip for you. We're just full of tips today, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, back to this. So I noticed this little design feature. The style of this divider. Oh, but did you know that there are all of these wonderful zigzag trees, dots, stripes, squares, leaves? Some of them are just, like, really? What I'm looking for is it the rhombus? I don't think it's the rhombus. It's the parallelogram. There we go. So, yeah, if you are looking for something like this, I saw it the other day and I'm like, oh, wow, this is an Elementor page, but how do you do that? So I went through all of these styles for the divider and found that all right, girl, get your words. Get your tongue out of the way and say the word right. Parallelogram. Say that 10 times fast. All right, so let's style this up. It's infotainment, boys and girls. It's infotainment. And we do have the accent color we're looking for, and that's just hideous on this background image. So let's go blue so that you can see it. Okay. And so it's like, wait a minute, we've got this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we've got this little other one starting again because it's a repeat. We need to fix that. So if we go to the gap, nope, that's top and bottom. Amount 20 pixels. There we go. There we go. All right, so we just need to fidget with the, oops, going the wrong way because they're in point sizes. So there we go. I got 6 in there. So that's how you do the amount of pixel space. I think this is, let me just go up. Yeah, it's the space between each item. Or is it making it's making the item bigger. Let's go back down in size. Okay, that's top and bottom again. That's the height of the item. Okay, let's go back to 20. So the amount, it's got something to do. Oh, I'm going too far. Girlfriend, back off. Okay, that's 20 and that's 6, and so I need to go up to cut that last one off. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that that's a little design thing if you needed it. We'll go back to content and parallelogram. Let's go rectangles. If you're looking for rectangles. And then you got parallelograms that they're, slanted. Rhombuses if you want diamonds. So a lot of people just don't know what they're doing, and you got plus signs. Arrows. I don't know why people would put more than one arrow, but there it is. And there's a multiple. It's got a small line and a big line. So it's here. Just wanted to let you know that you can do a parallelogram. And so that's what I was going to do. So let's just move on. And so we got our heading, and we're going to put a little paragraph in there. The text editor. Come on. There we go. And let's go back here. It's getting hard to read this text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click, edit the container. And not the container, beg your pardon. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Yeah. A little squirrel syndrome right there. So we've got this image. We've got it in the background. It's got a color. But we want to darken the image, and we don't want to take this image into Photoshop and make it darker. We can come here to a background overlay. Okay, and we can choose a classic background type. And we want a color. And let's just say I want to choose black because, a dark color. Well, that's too dark. But we can choose the opacity of the background to make things pop a little bit more when it comes to the text. And let's say that if we go about 2.5, then we can start to change things like, usually when you start a website, you already have your colors that you've already picked. But we can go to a light color now and choose our accent color, and we can change this black text into white. So I'm just giving you some options here, text color, and let's go white. We got white there. And it tends to pop a little bit better. Because when anyone starts their website for the first time, they don't know that there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to colors, accessibility, making your text look good over an image. So that's that. So that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, because we can't see the image back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the container. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to add some padding. And I'm going to add, let's just say 200. And bottom 200 here. And there we go. We've got that going on. And let's say we want to stop our text from, we don't want the text to run over on top of the hand that's here in the pool. So there's many ways you can do that. One way would be to go to the parent container, edit the container, and make the right side of this container have a padding. So let's go 200 there. Hey, that's not working. So let's delete that. Let's go to this actual item. And this is what you'll have to do for your responsive settings, is if I go to the text editor, I go to advanced, and I go padding on the right, and go 200,000. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. Okay, let's go 500. And there it breaks. So let's go 550. 550. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is this. We know that, whatever words we got going on here, we want it to actually break there. Okay, so I would say this is the more responsive friendly if we are adding padding, because it's a value we can put in. Now, there would be some people in some places who would say, I'm going to delete this value and make it go all the way across. There would be some people who would say, go to the content and break it at the word, at the comma. And there is a code way to do that, and that is to type a BR tag. But we're in the visual tab, so let me delete that. So in order to put code, because what I typed was HTML code, that is a HTML tag, but we're in the visual editor, so it shows up. It says, whatever you type in here, I'm just going to show. So we're going to delete that. And we're going to go to text. And at the comma, the second comma, right? Correct. We have to go into the text mode of the text editor. And here, I'll put the BR tag back in there. And it's a hard break. Now, some people will say that will be just fine. But let's go to responsive. Now, that is a hard-coded break. There is no way to make that BR tag be responsive. Okay? So let's just take a look at that. What does that mean? That means when we go to our responsive, maybe we want it at a different place. Well, if we change this, do you see any responsive little symbols like desktop, tablet, iPhone? You don't. So I would say this is not the way to do it. If you just had a title and you needed to break it, a word or something, I don't find this is the most user-friendly way to do this. So we're going to take that BR tag out. And the most responsive way to do this, to be able to control it from desktop to tablet to mobile, is to use the padding of the item itself. So let's go to advanced, and we're going to go to the right side of the padding, and we're going to say 500. Okay, so on desktop, that looks great. So we're going to hit update and save that. So if I go to tablet, we still have 500 in the tablet size. It filters down, it keeps the same size, so we need to override that. Doesn't look good on tablet. So we can come in here, we've got our tablet responsive size, we can override the 500, and let's just say 300. Oh, but not all the way around. Please, thank you. We don't need it all the way around. Okay, let's go back here. All sides, let's put a 0 in there. Turn off the link and go 200. And that looks better. Okay, so we've got things smashed to the left-hand side. All right, so let's fix that. Let's come in here to the container, and let's put a left padding of 20 pixels. But yet again, I am thwarted, and Command Z. Command Z, there we go. Command Z or Control Z on your keyboard undoes probably the last 10 things you did, so I went back 2 spaces, and that helps. Okay, so we need to unlock this, and yet it disappears. And so we have to put our 200 back in there, and we have to put our 200 back in there, and on the left, we're going to put 20. Get some breathing room, get the text and the divider away from the side. So if we hit update and go back to our desktop, it keeps, because you have to start in desktop, then you move down. You override moving down. All right, so if we jump to mobile, again, we've got some problems with our divider. It doesn't have 5 or 6 things, so we're going to come in here and we're going to edit our divider. Okay, so 20 pixels of a mobile size is rather small. So we need to, oops, we're grabbing the wrong one. Size. Oops, the wrong one, we're grabbing the wrong size. Okay, so what are we doing here? Is it the gap? Nope. We have to go back to the content. We have to go to the width. Yes, because it is a percentage. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go up. Oops, go down. Okay, so the width of the divider was in a percentage. So I'm curious. Let's do this. I'm going to hit update. I'm going to go back to desktop. And I'm going to change percent to pixels. Ooh, doggies. And let's go, because pixels is a finite size. Okay, we've got 5 parallelograms, and I'm just going to go till we get 6. Okay, there's 6. Now that is a non-responsive thing. So if I hit update and I go back to tablet, it keeps the same size. That's fine. And if I go to mobile, it's in percentages. So I'm going to come in here and delete this. I deleted because the percentage was overridden in this mobile. I deleted the value and it pulled down from desktop to tablet to here. And that's what I want. It says percentage, but it's actually not. I can choose pixel. Hey, puppy, let me give a pixel. And this is the value. Let me switch real quick back to tablet. It didn't change here. Oops. It didn't change here, so keep looking right here. And if I go back to desktop, it doesn't change. You set it in desktop, I set it as pixels, and I accidentally overrode it in mobile. In mobile, it looks fine too. So there's sometimes that you want to use percentages, and sometimes you want a hard, fast pixel value. I don't want you to change. And this divider is one of those cases where you don't want it to change the size. Okay, so there's that little off ramp that I did there. And so let's go back to our text. So let's go back to tablet. Tablet looks good. I mean, I know that our hand is not in the, and you can't really see what's going on in the image. You can fix that. We'll do that in just a second. But let's go back to the mobile view. Again, we're carrying down that we set in desktop and in tablet. It ripples down and trickles down and copies itself from desktop. We've got 200 hard, fast pixels on the right side of this text. So I can override this and I can come in here and just put a 0 and that fixes it. So yes, you can have different values in different device sizes. So there's that. That's fixed. That's great. So let's go back to tablet and let's take a look at the edit container. Let's take a look at our layout, style, of our image. Now, notice that this image, let me just do a little zoom here, it's got this transparent kind of background. Well, it's letting you know that the previous size, the previous image, was this, person on a float with their hand in the water. And it's like, we're bringing this down to let you know that it's here. But did you know you can override, because it just says, we've got this image and we're putting it here. Do you want to make a change? Sure, I want to make a change. Maybe on tablet, I want a completely different image. So I'm going to choose an image. And let's do this pool. Well, let's do this pool. Nope, we don't want that one. Because see, we have Let's do this one. Is this one a wide one? Come on. We need a wide one. And my computer's being slow for some ungodly reason. Okay, this is the one we want on tablet, so I'm going to insert media. Okay, there it is. There it is. Image size full, position, repeat, display size. We're going to go cover. Maybe that's the image you want on your tablet size. And it's a little dark, so let's go to the background overlay. Again, you've reset everything. And so if we go to the opacity, maybe we need to make that a little bit darker so that our text will pop. So if we go back to desktop, we've got a totally different image. If somebody pulls up the website on tablet, now there is going to be a, this is a new thing with Elementor, it phases in, it phases or it transitions into that new image. And so that's great. And so let's go take a look at mobile. Okay, so what happened was, you're like, well, I want the other image, the first image. I want the first image to be here. Well, you have to make that change. So we have to go to background. See, notice it's pulling the image from tablet. But we don't want that image. We want to pull back the other image. For whatever reason, we can just pull a whole nother new one. We're just going to do this one because it's up and down and vertical. Maybe that's what you want on mobile. So yes, each responsive size you can manipulate, change the image in the background. That's a wonderful thing. Yes, it is. All right. So let's go back here. And let's say that you want to add 3 features. And I'm going to do a little design with it. So I'm going to add 3 features. Let me just grab this 6 and delete 3. Boop, boop, and boop. All right, and we've got 3. And I'm going to drag and drop a icon box into each one of these. I'm going to duplicate, duplicate, drag, drag. Okay, I'm going to put the icon on the left. I'm going to right click, copy. Here's a note. Pay attention, boys and girls. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to hold down Command on Mac. For you on Windows, it's going to be the Control. And I'm going to click and click. It didn't work. Didn't work. Why didn't it not work? Command click. There. Nope, didn't work. Why didn't it work? Why is it not working, boys and girls? I don't know. Well, it's not working. Okay, I copied it. I'm going to hit paste. Not paste, paste style, please. Thank you. Let's delete this one. Actually, I'm going to delete this one. I was trying to do a multi-select, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's not working right now. So I'm not going to spend time and waste your time on trying to fix that. Okay, we're moving along. So let's say I want a different icon here, and let's just say, I don't care. Let's give us a star. I'm not going to sit here and waste your time. But we want 3 different icons. Edit the icon box. We're going to go, nope, no SVG, library. Let's just do this one. You pick your correct icons for each feature. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to say edit this container. And I'm going to add some padding on the top and bottom of this container. I'm going to unselect the values so that they're not locked together. And on the top, I'm going to put 90. And on the bottom, I'm going to put 90. Okay? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click, I'm going to edit the container, and I'm going to go to the background of this container, and I'm going to say a background type of, let's choose white. Okay, here comes this gradient again, and I'm going to give it an angle, because see, we have this green, we've got this green that's got a angle on it, and I want to repeat that design aspect. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and just reset myself, get myself back to where I was. All right, so I'm going to change the location of this here and go half, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, hold on. Let's get a sharp edge first. Okay, there's my sharp edge. And then I'm going to, let's rotate this. Which way do I want to go? I want to go this way. Correct. Let's go 300, and we'll say that's great. Okay. What are you doing, girl? Let's turn off the red and make it transparent. Where are we going with this? Ooh, okay. All right. I made it one side transparent and the other side white. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this edit container, and I'm going to negatively move it up the margin, the top, negative. Ooh, look at what we're doing. Wow, that's great. Okay, let's move this angle to the beginning over here to this side. All right, so let's right click, edit the container. Let's go back to advanced, nope, style, baby. Yep, and let's change the location, and let's go back to the left, oops, to the right, because it's reversed, because of our angle, the degree of the angle. So we have to fix this and keep going and keep going, and there it is. And I usually like to put the same value in the location at the top as the bottom so that we have a very sharp angle, and there we go. Now we've created an angled thing that goes along with our angles there. And so yeah, that's just a little design technique that you can incorporate. And maybe, just maybe, if we, let's do this. Let's see what happens. Maybe we want that green to be in the background. So if I come back in here and I change this green, then we've got this white over here. And if I wanted that white to be back there as well, but we've got a sharp edge, we would have to put a container within a container. So the parent container would have the green, and then this 3 sets of containers inside of it with the angle. So you're going to have to do the little containers within containers in order to make that work. But just letting you know, it can be done. All right, so let me just turn that off and go back to our white color, and there we go. So that we have a design repetition going on. Yes. All righty. So is there anything else? I'll spend another 15, 20 minutes, and we'll do, and also this might be too far away. Let's do this. I'm looking at the capture that I did on my idea to show you how this is done. The 90 is probably a little too much. So I'll go 40. Yeah, that's better. And also we're visually not balanced here. So we probably need to make sure that it's balanced. So if I go back to this container, it's 200. I don't know how many pixels I came above it. This negative 93. Okay, I'm going to go to 90 so that we have rounded numbers. So I need to add 90 pixels to the bottom of our container here. So the bottom, I'm going to put 290 so that our eyes see 200 pixels here and 200 pixels here. That's gonna make a balance, because this is 90 pixels encroaching on that space. So we needed to add 90 more pixels so that our eyes see symmetry. And symmetry in a subconscious way is a good thing for your brain. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's talk about masks. A lot of I've seen some websites. I'm just going to come here. I've seen some websites, so I can reset myself. I'm going to try to talk to you and reset my screen to get ready for the next mask thing that I'm getting into. See, I can't think and do it at the same time. It's just very hard for me. So, yep. Hold on just a second. I'm going to get there with you. I'm going to edit this container, and I'm actually going to hide it in responsive. Yes, I am. Hide it on desktop. Boop. There we go. And we need to do the same thing here. Just a moment. I'll be right with you. And go to responsive and hide it. Boop. Okay, there we are. All right. So let me pull up. Did I have a picture of it? Let's just see. Do I have a screenshot of something that I grabbed? No, we don't. I have the shapes, but I didn't do it. Hey, thank you for the thumbs up. Atif is here. Long time no see. Yes, it is. Good to see you, Atif. Atif? I'm sorry. I still don't know how to pronounce your name. But you are here, and I'm glad you're here. Alrighty. So let's talk about masking. There are some times where shapes and overlays get to the point where they get really complicated, where you're going to have to use something like Photoshop. Because doing overlays and absolutely positioning things gets completely out of control. Wackadoodle can't control it in responsive. So sometimes you do have to bite the bullet and you have to use a graphic, a PNG or an SVG, to do what you're trying to do. All right, so I've got some shapes here. Let me see if I've got Adobe XD ready to go, because I was playing with Adobe XD. Okay, yes, it is here. Okay, so let me just maximize this and let me get my screen ready for you. So I've got some shapes here on the screen. Let's get there. I've got some shapes on the screen that I just kind of grabbed as SVGs. I haven't exported them yet out of Adobe XD. Now you can use anything. You can use Canva. You can use any like free SVG creator on the internet, just as long as you have an SVG file or a PNG that is a solid color. Now I would stick with black just because it's one color, and sometimes masking can do weird things with, especially if you're doing something else with color. So I would just stick with a color. And I'm using black in this case. So I've got these 4 shapes, and I've already, excuse me, I need to take a little bit of water. I've been talking for an hour, and my throat says, girl, we need some water. So I've already exported these shapes as SVGs, and I've put them in the site that we're working on. So let me just switchy-do back to our site, and let me hit update on this page. All right, so let's go to the library. So I'm going to go back to Elementor. I'm going to go to the media library. I'm going to right-click on library, and I'm going to open it in a new tab so that we can get back to our page we're working on, and we're in the media library. And look at that, boys and girls. See, I got some other shapes going on in here. There's a blob and there's a hex. But it seems as though I did not upload those images. All right, so let's do that right now. I thought I did, but I was running out of time, so there that is. All right, so how do you upload an SVG without getting Elementor upset with you? So here's what you do. You grab an icon and you drop it on the page. And then right here, upload SVG. Here's some other SVGs that I have, but I want to grab some other ones. So I need to go to upload files, and I'm going to grab these 4 files right here. of these shapes that I showed you in XD. I'm going to shift click on those, and I'm going to grab hold of them, and I'm going to drop them right there. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right, and I'm actually going to close this screen, and I'm going to hit update. Because as you noticed, it dropped them all in the same one square. They didn't go in order. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go icon library. No, I'm not. That's not what I want to do. In order to get an SVG on the page, we need to grab an image and drop it. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? This is the method to the madness that is SVG. Number one, to get it up in your site, you have to drop an icon on the page and use the upload SVG. Then you delete the icon on the page and you drag and drop a image on the page because, boys and girls, interesting. Interesting. I think we have a problem, and maybe it's just me. And let me go to the media library and let me hit a hard refresh. Remember that? Top of the hour? Hard refresh is Command-Shift-R or Control-Shift-R. There they are. Okay. Just wanted to know. Because sometimes, as I was like, something's not right. Hard refresh. Let's see if that cures the problem. And yes, it did. Okay, so let's go back home. Let's do a hard refresh on this page to load the library on this page. And here's our image. And then let's choose an image. Please be there. They are. Okay. So I was afraid that I was going to have to upload each individual SVG. But did we just learn something? Yes, we did. You have to hit a hard refresh in the library and on the page in order for you to be able to see the bulk upload you just did. Okay. So you just learn things as we're on the fly, as we're live. Isn't that great? Yes. Okay. So let's just, what are we doing? Insert media. We don't want to insert the media. We want to go close this. Let's choose an actual image. So let's choose this pool. Let's just get us a horizontal one. All right, there we go. And let's say we want to mask that window pane shape over this image. Okay, so we're going to go to Advanced. And we're going to go to Mask. Okay, number one, put the image on the page. Number two, go to Advanced and Mask. And we're going to turn it on. Now, by default, Elementor is going to use some of its own shapes. And the first one that shows up is going to be a circle. If that's happy for you, that's great. You can use a circle. There's some default shapes. We got flower. We got stretch, which is just a paint. Oh, sketch. I said stretch, but that's what I thought I saw because the circle was over it. Okay, we have a triangle. Okay, I'm here for a second, and I've just had a squirrel moment in my brain. I just want to see something real here. Rotate. Can you rotate this? Yes, you can. Okay, boys and girls, you can do that. All right. I just wanted to know if it would work on a mask. Guess what? It does. All right. That was just a little squirrel moment. Let's go back to the mask. We have a triangle. We have a blob. We can't change the size or the way the blob looks. Again, because it is a graphic. SVG probably. Ooh, my voice is getting tired. Getting scratchy and tickly. Okay, and what else have we got? We got a hexagon with a hole in it. And we've got custom. All right, we're going to hit custom. And it's going to say choose an image or choose an SVG. So in this case, image would probably be a PNG, and SVG would be obviously an SVG. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to choose this window pane, and I'm going to hit insert. Bada bing, bada boom. It already has its own skew and 3D looking thing on it. So that's why I chose it, because it was very interesting. Masked shape. So masking, you find a wonderful looking, interesting SVG shape, or it is the logo of your business, and you just want to use it throughout your site, you can do that. So let me go back to custom, and let's go back to SVG and choose some of these other mask shapes. Again, if this is your company logo, you can overlay this on some of your images. Let's go back to custom. And we got these two shapes here. So we can come in here, and if this is too big, let's go back to the style, and we can go to width and just kind of resize this to be a different percentage size there. And we've only got that in there. Let's, if you want to do a 50-50, give me a container, please. Yep, we're going to put a container there, and we're going to duplicate this container. Then we're going to go to the edit the container, go to the parent layout, and we're going to say a row. Yes, a row. And then we're going to grab this and put it in here. And we're going to go to this container, and we're going to say full width. And we're going to come in here, and we're going to say container is full width. And we're going to come to this container, and we're going to say, let's just go 40%, 40. And then this one's obviously going to be 100% of the other space, but we're going to force it to be 60. And we're going to make this image bigger. The width of that image is going to be bigger, and fill the space like so. I know you're just like, what kind of design is this? Honey, you do your design how you want to do your design. I'm just dragging and dropping information in here to show how these masks work. And I'm going to put an icon list in there right underneath that one. And then we're going to have a call to action button, and it's going to go right in here. And so there you go. And we can come back in here, and we can go back to our image and the advanced and say, that mask doesn't work for me. I want to go back to this window image because it just works better. And we can also make it bigger, go to the content of the image, the style. And if percentage is not working for you and you want to go absolute pixel size, let's just go 2000 and see what happens. Nope, won't go any bigger than the size it is. Okay, good to know. Let's go back to percentage, please. Thank you. And we have height. There we go. The height goes bigger. So we can just take this and turn it off. Again, oops, hey, that's fun. Let's delete it. There you go. 0 is 0, and deleted number means the other value is there. Okay, so that is all about the masking and all of the wonderful creative things you can do with masks. Let your mind just go to very creative places. All right, so that's pretty much all I got for you today on building some things in Elementor. Very exciting things. How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you make a button with a cut edge? And let's just do a preview of everything that we have seen already. Let me go back because I turned all that stuff off. Let's go back to user preferences, and let's turn on the hidden elements in desktop mode. So let's go back and just do a recap. If there's somebody new here who has not been watching and just stepped in and said, hey, what you doing? And saw me on the internet. If you like what I've done, please hit that thumbs up, and I will definitely bring more. Okay, we're having a problem. Yes, we are. We're having a problem. I need to get to my stuff, and I can't get to it. It's that Command I? Yeah, let's get to the navigator. Let's go to this container, and, yeah. Yes, advanced. Sorry, I had a brain donor moment. We need to stop hiding it. There we go. And we need to go to this container, and we need to stop hiding it in the advanced responsive mode. Okay. And we need to go to the container. Oh, here's a little tip before I go away. You can rename your containers because the generic name of containers just really doesn't do anything for me. So I'm just going to say pool hero. And what do you know? You can actually see what it is. It's a name, it's a thing, and now it's identified. We'll go to this container, and that container is photo green background. I don't know what else to call it. Photo green BG. Okay, now our things are labeled. How did you know that you could come in here and actually name these things? Okay, so this is a feature. I'm going to put 3 features, F-E-A-T-U-R-E-S. Okay, hit return. There we go. And so I need to go to those 3 features, go to an advanced, go to responsive, and turn on. Okay. And there's some things that are out of whack here. Some things got moved around. So I need to take the 3 features and move it above. That did not work. Command Z. Oh, I just turned that off. Okay, hold on. The 3 features, let's go to advanced, go to responsive. You know, some things just don't work, and that's okay. I'm going to drag you to here and release. That's what I wanted. Sometimes you just drag and drop. Sometimes the navigator is not helpful. All right, so what's this container? This container is the mask shape. So I'm going to come in here, double click on the name, mask shape. Okay, and then there we go. We've got our all 4 sections identified with names so that we can jump back and forth to where we need to be. What was I doing? Oh, we were doing an overview of what we did over the past hour and 17 minutes, which was a divider, because if there's somebody new here, we did a divider. Let's click on this, parallelogram, the style, and we've got all these different styles that we can use for our dividers. And we then came in and added a section below with 3 containers within that. I say section, a container with 3 containers inside, where I put 3 icon boxes with 3 different icons. And then in the background of this container, I went to the style and I made a gradient that had a hard edge of a location, and then changed the angle. I made one color white and the other transparent. And your transparency, let's just review this. Your transparency is this slider. So if I just grab hold of it, there's that pink-red color. If I take the second slider below the color spectrum and drag it to the left of this checkerboard, that means it is transparent. Okay, and then with this button, this is also an angled gradient on the background of an image. So exactly what I did here in this section, I did exactly to the button. We did the wrong way of putting a spacer widget and a background color and trying to absolutely position, and it was an absolute mess when we went to responsive. So very simple. I went to the image, I went to style, and I went to the box shadow, and I turned off the blur. I made the blur 0, no blur, and I changed the horizontal and vertical position, -10 and 10, to go left and down. And then we worked with our masking, and I used several different shapes. So in order to do the masking, what we do is we drop the image on the page first, and then we go to Advanced, and we go to Mask, and we choose our SVG or PNG with a transparent background. And we can choose a custom shape from the library, or we can choose, if all we need is a circle, then Elementor provides that for you with some other shapes. But to custom, grab something from your SVGs or transparent PNGs, you can grab different shapes and mask them on your images. One more time, drop the image first, then go to Advanced, and go to Mask, Custom, and pull your SVG or transparent PNG into the image in order for the mask to work. So, I hope we have learned a lot of stuff. I've gotten 5 thumbs up today, and if you are watching this later on, and I've built something that opened your eyes, hey, give me a like. Let me know that you liked what I taught you today, and I will definitely bring back some more build-its of some things on the internet that I see, designs, and I do my sleuthing skills with coding, figure out how they did it, and bring it to you and show you how you can add that design technique to your websites. Y'all be good. Bye now.